All right, everyone. So welcome to our yoga class. If you're just getting settled into position now, go ahead and lay flat down on your backs. I want us to spend the first couple of minutes getting comfortable, making sure that we're aware of any sounds, any noises that could potentially distract us, either accepting them or getting rid of them. And during our yoga class, remembering that we want to try to pay attention to just what's happening on our mat. I know that can be hard, especially if there's so many other things going on in your day, in your life, in your world. Giving ourselves permission for just right now, just while we're practicing yoga, to focus only on you. You are all that matters right now. How your shoulders feel against the floor, how your back feels laying into the mat. How it feels to breathe in and out through your nose. Feeling ourselves calming down. And maybe even breathing a little bit slower. Relaxing those shoulders. And feeling next the stomach starting to rise up and down as we engage a little bit more deeply. If our eyes are not already closed, see how it feels to have them closed, relaxing the muscles in the face. While we're here, everyone, I want you to take your shoulders and just go ahead and roll them down a little bit more. And then reach those arms all the way up over your head. Oh, nice big reach. Maybe your arms are on the ground. Maybe they're not quite there today. What's that feel like as we extend those arms up overhead? Stretching through the shoulders, maybe the backs. I want us to grab a hold of that right wrist and just pull it a little bit over towards the other side. And then grab a hold of your left wrist and pull that over, opening up down the left side. All right, releasing those arms down. And now gently bringing the knees into our chest and giving ourselves a really nice big hug. Go ahead and hold onto those knees as we're laying down on our back and just gently rocking right to left, side to side. We'll do this just a few times, noticing any knots in the back, any tightness through the hips. Really good. Now holding on to the ankles or the shins as we just roll through the feet, keeping your back still now. Noticing how it feels to relax the shoulders and the head down on the floor. Any cricks or cracks coming out through the feet, the toes. Good, we're gonna single out the stretch, just stretching a little bit more deeply through the hips. We'll keep a hold of our right knee as we lower that left leg down. See if we can really press that left leg down into the mat and then open the right knee out towards that right shoulder. Maybe we're feeling a stretch across the hips, in through the thighs. Drawing the knee over towards the left shoulder, still hugging the thigh in towards our belly, trying to keep our shoulders both on the ground. Nice long necks, soft faces. Drawing the knee in through the middle and relax down. Whenever you're ready, we'll bring that left knee in, give it a nice squeeze, open the knee out towards the left shoulder, really press that right leg down into the mat. Notice how it feels as we stretch across this left side. Bringing the knee over towards our right shoulder, feeling a little stretch through that left hip. I say a little, maybe it's a lot for you today. Pay attention to that. Drawing the leg in through the middle and then lowering down. Taking our feet flat onto the floor. Heels are coming in nice and close to the body as we bring our arms down by our side. Taking a few glute bridges to activate the glutes and stretch through the front. Let's inhale, lift our hips up. And then exhale, slowly lower. We'll do that a couple of times. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, slowly lower. Notice how that feels as we open up the back. Inhale, lift, pressing down through all 10 toes, all 10 fingers. Exhale, lower. One more time. Inhale, lift up, shoulders flat on the ground. And exhale, release. Good. Let's reach our arms out to the side. Bring both knees up about 90 degrees. We're going to do a few slow windshield wipers to activate obliques and work through the midsection. We slowly lower the legs towards the right, keeping both shoulders flat on the floor. Inhale, lift the knees up. And exhale, lower to the left. Inhale, lift. It's important we keep the shoulders on the ground the whole time as we lower right. Inhale, lift, and we never lose control. Lower to the left. Always control those legs. Inhale, lift. We'll do one more each side. Exhaling right. Inhale, lift up. Exhaling left. Inhale, lift. Good. We can hug those knees in and either roll over or rock and roll all the way up onto our hands and knees. When you're able to, come all the way over. From our hands and knees, we are going to work ourselves into tabletop and then find spinal balance. So let's start by extending our right arm directly forward, thumb up to the ceiling, left leg back behind us. Good way to find our balance today. Lowering down. Inhale, left arm, right leg, extending at hip and shoulder. Exhale, lower. Inhale, right. Exhale. Inhale, left. Exhale. Inhale, right. Exhale, one more. Inhale, left. Exhale. Now we're going to lift our right arm and left leg out and hold it. Preparing for a twist if you're able to. Go ahead and bend that left knee. Take your right arm behind you, trying to grab right hand onto that left foot. This takes a lot of balance. If you're able to do it, I want you to push your foot into your hand, looking up over that right shoulder. There's a lot of tension involved here. If you're able to hold it, you'll get a nice stretch through that right chest and shoulder, a good stretch through that left thigh. We'll hold it for one more inhale. Exhale, slowly release. Good, and get ready for the other side. Left arm forward, right leg back, establish balance. Then bend your right knee. Bring your left arm behind you, trying to grab a hold of your foot. Maybe you grab your sock or your pant leg. And if you're able to, you press that foot into the hand, looking over your left shoulder, opening up through the chest, and then into that right thigh. Whenever we add a twist, that's optional. Feel free to add in the layer if it helps today. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly releasing down, holding tabletop and taking a few cows and cats. Inhale, open the chest into cow. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the back up to cat. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. How does this feel today? One more of each. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. Coming back into child's pose, sinking those hips nice and low, extending the arms. Let's rest our forehead. Couple breaths, just checking in with our body. Maybe checking in with the mind too. Have we been able to focus? Are we losing our focus at all? In which case, that's okay. Remember, you just need to remind yourself to come back. Focus on your breathing. Good. Let's walk our hands over to the right edge of your mat. Left hand comes on top of right hand and we pull down past that left arm. All the sensation we might be feeling along that left side. Maybe through the arm, the shoulder, the ribs, the side. And then walk our hands through the middle over to the left side of our mat. Right hand comes on top. Pull away from that right side now. Slow, deep breaths, trying to keep our hips nice and low. Coming through the middle. Now from here, let's rise up to tabletop. We'll take our next shoulder stretch, which will be thread the needle. Inhale, lifting that right arm nice and high. And then exhale, sweep under the left side. As we lay down in towards or into our right ear, we can extend that left arm forward, or maybe even up towards the ceiling. Notice how this feels. Changing the position if we need to. Slowly releasing the arms, coming up through the middle, and we'll change to the other side. When you're ready, inhale, left arm lifts high. Exhale all the way under. As we lay into that left ear, we're happy in the shoulder. You can reach the right arm forward or lift that arm straight up to the ceiling. Remember, we always know where our arms and legs exist in space relative to our body. Make sure that you know where that right arm is. One more inhale. And exhale, release down. Slowly coming up through the middle, pressing back into child's pose again. Already, we might be feeling some stuff going on through the upper backs, the shoulders. Pay attention to what the body's telling you. If you listen carefully, you might be able to get a really good stretch, gain some range of motion, gain some control, work out some kinks. We'll rise up into tabletop again, preparing next for a lunge. Sweeping that right leg all the way up between our hands. We want the knee stacked right above the ankle. Now take our time as we lift up. Okay, how does that feel as we open that left thigh? Maybe we stay here. Otherwise, I'll encourage us to lift the arms up above our head. If that's not feeling happy today with the shoulders, we can bring the hands down through heart center instead. Zip up through the middle, making sure that we're really focusing on lifting the belly away from the thigh, bending forward into the knee so we can stretch through that left hip. We're going to add another twist here in a moment as we take that final big inhale. Exhale, release the hands down. Staying here, I want us to try bending that left knee. Take our right hand and either grab your sock, your pant leg, or your foot. This is intense stretch on that left thigh. Twisting over that right shoulder with your eyes if you're able to. You'll feel a really big stretch in that left thigh up through that left hip. Maybe through the right shoulder, the arm as well, as we open the chest. And as I mentioned earlier, the twists, they're all layers. They're extra, and if they're not working for you today, don't worry about them. One more big inhale. Exhale, release that foot, taking our hands back. We're going to sweep the leg behind us, coming into child's pose again. Take a couple of breaths here. Notice that your hips may feel kind of off. Maybe they feel uneven. We'll work on doing the other side here as we inhale forward. Tabletop position. Sweep that left foot up between the hands. Help the foot get there if you need to, knee above ankle. And then we rise up if we can today with our balance. Then forward. Remember though, we're not leaning in or scooping or arching our back. We're keeping the posture and then shifting our weight forward. Lifting those arms up if we can, whether they stay above the head or come down through heart center. I want shoulders down, long necks. Feel free to close your eyes. Good, holding this runner's lunge. Notice any stretch you're feeling in that right hip. And then release our hands down, Preparing to add in that twist if you'd like to. We're going to bend the right leg, so the leg at the back. Looking over that left shoulder, we take our free left hand. Oh, it's tight on this side. See if we can grab our foot, maybe a sock, a pant leg. Notice how one side may feel way different than the other. Look over that left shoulder. And this could be something that maybe we're not getting today, but we can work on, we can try. We'll do again another time. So not worrying about it. Remember, in yoga, we don't judge ourselves. There's no competition. There's no ego. We're living in the moment, thinking about how this feels right now. One more inhale. Exhale, slowly release. Carefully bringing ourselves back all the way into child's pose. Sink a little bit lower if you can. From here, we're going to curl the toes underneath of us and push up for down dog. All right, let's press the hands into the mat, pull the tailbones up towards the sky, and start pedaling through the feet. Toe to heel, right to left. Good, notice how that feels. And then holding our down dog still, press those heels down. We might feel a really good stretch up the calves, the ankles, maybe even up behind the knees and through those hamstrings. I want you to imagine pushing your chest back between your shoulders towards those thighs, just a little bit more if you can. And then shake the head no. Releasing the neck, nod the head yes. Very good. Working forward into plank. Big inhale. We can bring the knees to the floor if that helps as we slowly release to the ground. Hands back under ribs, pulling ourselves up into cobra stretch. Push away from those hands, lift up through the chest. Nice and long, nice and tall. Good, and pressing back again, down dog, child if you'd prefer. We're going to come into pigeon pose next. We'll lift that right foot high up to the sky. Sweep it all the way forward in towards your left hand, allowing that right knee to drop down towards the floor. Now we've got our legs working at perpendicular angles here, and then bring that left leg all the way back. See how straight you can get it. You might want to look over your left shoulder to make sure it's lining up parallel to the long edge of your mat. And then we settle through the right knee and left knee, trying to maintain balance. Every now and then it's a good idea to lift the hands up off the floor and check that we've got balance. We're going to bring our hands down and slowly, maybe we relax onto the elbows. And if we're feeling a really nice stretch through that right hip, maybe in through the IT band down the outside of our right thigh, perhaps we're even able to get lower. I like to make fists into pillows and lay my head on my fists. Let's try to keep our backs flat, hips and shoulders level with the floor as we slow our breathing and try to enjoy the stretch. Sometimes it can cause a bit of a fight or flight response. It can be so tense. Slow your breath. Think about what you're feeling. Notice the sensation in that right hip. See if you can let it go a little bit more. Now feel free to stay here in pigeon. Otherwise, for those of you who want to join me in king pigeon, I'll ask that we raise up onto our hands now. This is our next twist. It can also be done without a twist. So if we're going to twist it, you'll bend your left knee. Use your right hand to try to grab that leg. If that feels good, stay there. If you'd rather not twist it and you want to get more of a shoulder stretch, you're going to bend your left knee and then use your left hand. Now the benefit of doing it with this is that you can lift that right arm up and add a little bit more balance. So maybe playing with this position. If you're able to hold on to that leg, regardless of which hand, you might feel a good stretch running up that left thigh and through the quadricep and the hip. Take one more big inhale. Exhale. slowly releasing back, down dog or child. Now also in king pigeon, you may notice because you're reaching back with your arm that you're opening up your chest, stretching through the front of the shoulder as well. Holding our stretch, taking a couple of breaths here. Before we repeat the other side in pigeon, we're going to take one flow, inhaling forward through plank again. We can take the knees to the ground if we'd prefer. As we exhale, slow lower, chaturanga, and scoop up for cobra. Nice big inhale, hold it here for a couple of breaths. Lifting away from the floor with those hips, long necks, lifting out of our shoulders. And then press back into down dog or child if you prefer. Preparing for pigeon on the left side. We'll transfer the weight into the right foot as we inhale, lift the left foot high up to three-legged dog. Now from three-legged dog, we bring that left foot all the way forward in towards your right wrist. Knee comes down towards your left. You straighten out that back right leg, looking over that right shoulder, making sure it's lined up. Spatial awareness, always know where your legs are. And then checking our balance again if you can take that extra step. It just makes sure that we're not leaning into our left hip, accidentally cheating. So we want to stay balanced, pulling our bellies in, and then we can relax down, whether it's on hands, elbows, or all the way onto our fists. Try to relax that left thigh, making sure that we're not leaning or twisting left or right, trying to keep our belly button facing square down to the ground. Now slowly deciding if you're going to stay in pigeon for the next few breaths or if we're going to try king pigeon. Coming up onto the hands, I'll show the twist first, bending the right knee and then reaching with the opposite left hand to grab it. It's a nice twist for that left arm. If you want a bigger, deeper quad stretch, however, we'll do same arm as leg. You can get a little bit more out of it, holding that ankle, foot, or pant leg. And then if you can, we're going to lift up that free left hand. Trying to keep both shoulders down, opening up through the chest, finding that thigh stretch as we still focus on that left hip stretching out. Lots going on here. Everyone together taking one more big inhale. And then exhale, release, bringing those arms down. And we can sweep back, down dog or child's pose. From here, let's take our time coming forward into plank. Chaturanga, slow lower. Scooping up for cobra. And this time we're going to come all the way down onto our stomach where we'll lay. We can just take our arms down in back of us and rest one cheek. Whatever cheek you want to rest on, laying on that ear. Take a couple big breaths. Couple of exercises that we'll work through while laying on our stomach. What we're going to start with is stretching through those chest muscles, the front of the shoulders with scorpion. Go ahead and take your nose to the floor. We'll bring our arms out to the side, palms on the ground. Make sure you have enough room right to left. Taking first our right hand underneath our shoulder. So we'll just bend that arm. We'll bend the right knee as well. So same arm as leg. Rolling over the left arm. We'll try to bring that right knee up towards the ceiling. Maybe some of us aren't going to go quite this far today. Maybe some of us need more, in which case you'll try to take both feet flat onto the ground with your knees pointing up to the ceiling. Just listen to the body. You know how far to push and when to back off. Remember, in any pose, you can just rest and relax instead. We'll take one more inhale here. Exhale, coming onto the stomach. Arms are out to the side. Bring that left hand underneath, bending the left knee, rolling over that right arm. Trying to get that left knee up to the ceiling. Maybe you need both on the side. Remember, we're not built symmetrically necessarily. We don't always work the same left and right. One more inhale. Exhale, coming onto the stomach. Arms both under the shoulders or rib cage as we lift up for cobra. Now remember, we're not leaning or sinking into the shoulders. We're lifting out of the hips, pressing away from the hands, actively lifting taller, lengthening our back, stretching through the stomach. Let's lay down onto our stomach again. Hands stay under the shoulders, so adjust them so they're comfortable. As we come into our final big thigh stretch here, we're going to do bow. Now, bow pose requires us to hold one hand onto your foot. If that's not something you're able to reach today, you can also have a band around your leg where you could hold the band, or if you've got a sock that you can pull onto or a loose pant leg, that helps. You can do one at a time. I'm gonna do both sides at a time, and I'll cue those of you who wanna do just one leg at a time when to switch. So as we hold our foot or ankle or pant leg, whatever, roll the shoulders together. Try to keep your knees as close to one another as possible as we flex the feet, and then lift up. Now, I rock a little bit just because I really breathe through my diaphragm. So every time I inhale, my stomach tries to push down into the floor. I'm not doing it purposefully. If you're switching, go ahead and switch now. So if you notice I'm rocking, I just want you to know that I'm not trying to rock. It's my breathing, and that's okay. It's actually a really good thing. I just don't want you to try to rock forward and back. Okay, now all of us together. One more big inhale. Exhale, relax completely. Whew, that was a big stretch. Hands come under shoulders or rib cage. We lift up for another cobra. Now we have one more stretch on our stomach. We're going to come into our knot, just like tying a knot in our shoelaces. So what we do is we come down onto our stomach and we reach both arms forward, laying in our Superman pose. And I want you to get really comfortable here. Try to relax your muscles and thread the needle. Right arm is all the way underneath that left shoulder, laying into the right ear. Now you can stay here in half knot. I'm going to show you full knot. If anyone would like to join me, we'll now bring that top left arm also across, trying to bring the arms like you're pulling them away from each other, still running in a parallel line to the front edge of your mat. And then see if we can drop our foreheads down. Stretching through the back of our shoulder blades, stretching our tricep muscles. Take a couple breaths. And slowly release. Taking your time coming out of that. And again, just relaxing in Superman. Repeating that now on the other side. We reach that left arm all the way underneath the right, and we lay into that left shoulder. And we just get it comfortable here. Notice how that feels if we need to make any adjustments. And staying here, or if you'd like to turn this into a full knot, we'll also bring the right arm across. Pulling the arms, separating the shoulders and the back, and trying to relax the head. Slowly working out of that into Superman. Oh, very nice, everyone. Taking those hands under shoulders or ribs. Last time in Cobra. Reaching nice and tall. Oh my goodness. I feel like I've grown a couple of inches here. And whenever you're ready, coming back into child's pose. Now you might feel a lot through those backs and shoulders because we just spent so much time. Feel free to just kind of play with this position a little bit, maybe getting lower, maybe extending the arms. And slowly we'll come up through table, sweep those legs around, sitting onto our hip. Now, as we sit onto our hip, we're going to prepare for our mermaid stretch, one of my favorite lateral stretches. If this bothers anyone's knees, having your legs tucked in like this, you can always just sit with your legs forward or even crisscrossed, okay? But the proper mermaid is with the ankles tucked in. So I've got them tucked over to the left with our right arm free. Big inhale, lifting the right arm high. And then exhale, let it come all the way over. And see how I've got lots of space between my chin and my shoulder? We're not collapsing the arm. We're always trying to reach it long. Feel the stretch down that right side. Good, lifting all the way up. And we can sweep the legs in front or underneath of us. We'll come to the other side. Holding on to the ankles with the right side. The left arm is free. Big inhale, lift tall. And then exhale. Big side stretch here. Again, don't let that shoulder collapse. Try to open it up and reach. Feels amazing when we can really expand. Good, releasing that. Let's take the legs around and we'll bring ourselves all the way down onto our mats in the back. Okay, so just nice and slow here. We can even hug the knees in, maybe rock side to side. We're going to single out our hamstring stretch. So let's just start by keeping a hold of our right knee and extending that left leg down to the ground, just like we did at the beginning in our warm-up. We'll straighten out that right leg now, holding our thigh or our calf. Now, right away, we'll get a sense of how tight we feel in that hamstring. If it's too much, bend the left knee. That takes a lot of the stress off. If you need that, we'll straighten both legs out. I want us to start rolling through the ankle. So for anyone out there who feels like their feet or their ankles, their toes, their arches, their calves, their shins, if we're doing more running, anything like that feels tight, this is a nice, easy way to encourage blood flow and circulation, starting a conversation between our brain and our foot. Let's keep a hold of that right leg in our left hand. We can drop the right arm down to the floor for support as we drive that leg over towards the left just a little bit. Notice what we're feeling, especially in the outside of our right thigh and our hip, maybe down through our IT band. Maybe play with your foot. Sometimes it helps to sickle it in, get a little bit more stretch down that right side. Trying to keep the leg as straight as possible. And then we'll bring the leg through the middle, hold it in the right hand, and just open out towards the right side now. You might need to bend your left knee if you haven't already. Otherwise, you can keep everything straight. We just want both shoulders, both hips flat on the floor as we stretch through the inside of that right thigh up through the groin. Let's inhale, lift that leg all the way up. We can bend the knee and release that down. Take our time now as we draw the left knee in, and we'll straighten that leg up when we're ready. And again, right away, you'll notice if you're able to keep the leg straight or if you have to bend that right knee at all. We'll just take a few deep breaths. Starting to roll the ankle. I want everyone to just check in with your neck and shoulders right now. Sometimes when we're stretching our leg and it's feeling quite intense, sometimes we shrug the shoulders or start scrunching our face, trying to relax the other parts of the body as best we can. And now let's prepare for the shift of our leg position, holding the leg just in our right hand, drawing the leg over towards the right across midline. Ooh, for me, it's not very far today. I only moved a couple of centimeters here. I'm just gonna sickle my foot in a little bit, really triggering a stretch down my IT band, the outside of my left thigh. Couple slow, deep breaths. Drawing through the middle, taking the leg in that left hand and opening out towards the left side. This is our straddle split. Still trying to keep the legs straight, trying to keep both shoulders flat on the mat. Again, if it's too much or you're finding that you're leaning or tilting, you can bend that right knee. And we'll inhale, lift the leg up, bend the leg down, slowly release. Next up, we're going to take our arms out to the side and we'll release all of that in our spinal twist. Inhale, lifting your right knee up 90 degrees. Lower all the way over to the left. And look over that right arm. Trying our best to keep both shoulders on the mat, just like in our warm-up when we did our windshield wipers. Let that knee come down. Maybe you even need to hold it in the left hand. I want you to pay attention to what you're feeling and where you're feeling it. Is it in the rib cage? Is it in the right arm, the shoulder? Inhale, lifting the knee up. Exhale, release. If we're twisted at all, just finding yourself on your mat again. Taking the left knee up now, big inhale. Exhale, lower to the right. And once we're in position, try to just get both shoulders on the mat. We can look over that left arm and notice any stretch coming down that left side now. Just enjoy it. Slow down your breathing. Good. Lifting the knee up again and release down. With both feet flat on the floor, a really restorative stretch is our butterfly supine position. Just means laying on your back. Let's attach the soles of feet together, opening those knees out, rotating at the hip. Maybe your back's just peeled off the mat. That's okay. Maybe your rib cage just flared, your stomach is rising up. I want us to maybe put our hands on our belly so that we can feel that breath as we let those knees open. Notice any stretch through the backs or the hips. And really start slowing our breathing. Pay attention to your heartbeat if you can feel it in your chest. Maybe the beats are coming slower now as we take our breath more full, more complete. I'll ask all of us to count our breathing now. As we inhale, count to 5, letting the stomach rise up to the ceiling. And as we exhale, count to 5, feeling the body melt into the mat beneath us. As we continue our slow, deep 5-count breaths, we can stay in butterfly if that's comfortable. Or you can draw your legs in, maybe we leave them bent, or they come all the way down straight into Shavasana. Whether we leave our hands on our stomach or we allow them to drop by our sides with palms facing up to the ceiling, I want us to continue that 5-count breath. And focus on the breathing. Notice your inhale. And notice how that exhale feels. Being aware of any tension in the face, the neck, or the shoulders. Try to relax our eyelids, not scrunching up through the eyebrows or clenching our jaw, but keeping our faces calm. We can start wiggling our fingers and our toes, rolling our ankles and wrists, making little circles. Feel free to grab a hold of your legs now, bringing them into another hug, maybe even rocking side to side. Taking your time as we reawake the body, working out any lingering tension, meeting out any kind of exposed knots here. We can roll all the way over to our side into our fetal position, baby pose. Just take a minute here. Really feeling calmed, relaxed. I want you to notice how this feels. And remember this feeling at any time when you get stressed out or annoyed or frustrated or overwhelmed. Take a few breaths, lay in this comfortable recovery position or in Shavasana, sitting still with your eyes closed. And getting this feeling whenever you need it. We've got our breath available to us, and we can use it. Now I'll ask that we slowly press ourselves up into that seated pose. Finding our position here. So wonderful working with everyone today. Thank you so much. And I do want to wish everyone a very happy rest of your day. Thanks, everyone.